Back Row Ministry, the World Permit, Mr. Moxley coming at you live and direct. So the Super Bowl is over. We did a nice little decode on the Super Bowl. Told you it was going to be kind of tight. Two ways to go. You could have went the numerology way, or you can went the ritual way. So anybody who went the ritual way, stuck with the 41 ritual, the death of Kobe Bryant, kind of stuck with a lot of the stuff that was in the last Black Man in San Francisco. Jimmy fails at the end, which we said it could be tied into both quarterbacks, but it was tied into Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, Jimmy crashes, Jimmy G crashes. Remember, GG crashed in a helicopter. So a whole bunch of things kind of tying those rituals together. Mahomes being the CERN or the portal, that energy that's needed to open up the portal in San Francisco. San Francisco being the beginning of all this we had talked about. When we go back to Last Man in San Francisco, we talk about Jimmy failing to regain his home in the movie. So Jimmy Garoppolo failing to put San Francisco back on the pedestal that San Francisco was used to being in the Super Bowl, but also tying into our ritual. So we saw a lot that tied in the ritual. We saw the 7-7 of the 49. With San Francisco going 7-7, we said that was a possibility. But I was really on numerology. There was a lot going with numerology. But we talked about if you did bet on the game, the thing you needed to happen was the over and under, and you needed that under anything under 50, 53, 54 plus the winner. So if you went that way, you should have did pretty good. If you bet both ways, you did excellent. You bet one way, you probably took a hit if you went San Francisco. But 10 out of 3 was better just to bet on both teams and just hit that over and under. You could have played around with MVP if you wanted to, and tried to pull something out of that, which would have been Mahomes if you went that route. So a lot of good information came after I dropped the video from Children of Israel. Brother Yahi dropped some stuff that pretty much happened in the game. That's that second half comeback. Talked about the two dead in Houston, the explosion that kind of came in the second half, which talked about Mahomes, the gamma, the man with the gamma radiation, the superhero transforming. So that all took place. That's why we said he's the CERN, he's the power, he's that energy that they need to open up those portals. That Kobe death energy that they just carried on into the Super Bowl ritual. And that's all it was, just a ritual carrying on from what happened with Kobe. He becomes the third African American quarterback to win the Super Bowl. The same time, this indeed turned out to be the year of the black quarterback because Lamar Jackson won the MVP. He wins the Super Bowl and the MVP of the Super Bowl. So year of the black quarterback did come to fruition. Didn't come in the way we have been talking about over the months. But everything pretty much happened this season that we talked about with San Francisco. A lot took place around the Bay Area. So let's continue to watch San Francisco, the Bay Area. Let's continue to watch what goes on there because now I think the portal has been opened. That energy that they needed, they've got that final energy, that final piece. We know what this war is about. This is a spiritual war. This is a celestial war, and it's tagged to find that 144. But they need the energy to be able to find that. We talk about the jokesters and the tricksters, the people they make appear to look a certain way. So Mahomes. We talk about San Francisco and how all the Golden State Warriors now predominantly are light-skinned. And who's the hero? The light-skinned African American male. He's the hero quarterback. The dark-skinned American male is the runner-up. He couldn't win the Super Bowl, but the light-skinned quarterback could. And this has been a history of America and the culture of African Americans. Of they put who they want to on the pedestal. I was surprised when they let Doug Williams win the Super Bowl, but they put who they want to put on the pedestal, and it's always kind of been this way, where a light-skinned African American has been placed on a pedestal, and a dark-skinned African Americans have pretty much been put as number two. And that's how they pretty much do it because they have their representation of African American strength. But this is all part of that death energy ritual to open up that portal. So Jimmy did fail in the end. Jimmy failed in the end. So Jimmy fails just like in the movie to regain his home and regain his position and his place. So a lot of that had to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I just want you guys to take from decoding. Sometimes numerology is strong. Sometimes the rituals are stronger and those things that tie in a ritual. And we learned our lesson that ritual and things that tie in the ritual sometimes just overlap. Let's just stick to that. Just stick to that. Like I said in the beginning, you can just stick to ritual, and you might be all right. You know, if you fall and you follow the 41, you were okay, because that's what happened. Mahomes became 4-1. Kobe Bryant dead at the age of 41. So a lot of times they give you the same things over and over again. I'm a numerology guy, so I tend to want to stick to numerology sometimes, but also I have to come and get more into, you see the ritual unfolding, the ritual, just go with the ritual. It's not going to be precise numerology all the time, even though you got eights and sixes and all this other stuff. And still, we probably can go back and find the numerology in the day for some of the things that took place. So we still probably will be able to find our eights and sixes. Just got to look a certain way. So it just, it's not like they removed it. They like to play with you this way. So we saw a lot. We broke down a lot. Go back over the decode and kind of then look at the game and see how all this kind of tied in. So we saw Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy just self-destructed, just like in the movie, and pretty much lost everything. We saw Garoppolo explode, like Brother Yahid talked about, that explosion that was going to come in the second half. That took place. The gamma, the Super Bantu came out, because this is what the search is for, that 144. And the Super Bantu exploded in the second half in San Francisco, and released that energy. And that's what this is all about. So we talked about a big year, especially in the Bay Area. We continue to watch the Bay Area. Like I say, be on the watch. 8/11 is a number. It's not a specific day. It's a number, and that number can hit at any time. You got to remember that piece. So still remain on the watch. So a lot took place, but that's how you decode sports. It's not a perfect science. You take what you get, and you just have to guesstimate. But the only thing we really had was the over and under yesterday. That was a lock. And then if you were, more ritualistic, that, hey, I just follow the ritual, you did great yesterday. So just the way of the world. Those are the things that you follow. Peace and hair grease, Mr. Makti. Everybody have a great day.